Ambassador Nadia Patel stood at the observation deck of the Terran diplomatic vessel Artemis, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the aftermath of what would soon be known as the Genesis Point Massacre. The Kralaxian warships had just opened fire on an unarmed medical convoy heading to assist the human colony on Proxima B. The convoy's debris still gleamed in the starlight, a ghastly memorial to the 200 innocent lives lost. They must have known exactly what they were targeting, Captain Marcus Rodriguez said, his weathered face reflecting the red warning lights that had begun pulsing throughout the ship. That convoy was clearly marked with international medical symbols. Every species in the Galactic Alliance recognizes them. Nadia's fingers tightened around the railing. Her grandfather had been one of the first human diplomats to make contact with alien civilizations, preaching peace and cooperation. Now, decades of careful diplomacy were about to go up in flames. Have you informed High Command? Yes, Ambassador. But there's something else you should know. Rodriguez's voice dropped lower. The Kralaxians are moving toward the colony. Their fleet formation suggests an invasion force. On the holographic display, 12 Kralaxian dreadnoughts moved with predatory grace toward Proxima B, where 5,000 human colonists lived. The colony had been established as a scientific research station with minimal defensive capabilities. Open a channel to the Kralaxian command ship, Nadia ordered, straightening her diplomatic uniform. One last attempt at peace, though she already knew it would be futile. The holographic image of High Commander Vexthor appeared, his scaled face showing no emotion. Ambassador Patel, this is an internal Kralaxian security operation. Your convoy violated our sovereign space. That's a lie. Nadia's voice was steel-wrapped in silk. The convoy was responding to a distress signal from our colony, which lies well within internationally recognized human territory. You murdered innocent medical personnel. Your species is young and naive, Ambassador. The galaxy operates on power, not principles. Consider this a lesson in real politics. Vexthor's mandibles clicked in what passed for a smile among his kind. Nadia's response was cut short by a priority message from Earth. Her neural implant projected the classified transmission directly into her visual cortex. As she read, her expression shifted from anger to something that made Captain Rodriguez step back involuntarily. High Commander, Nadia's voice had changed, carrying a note of what almost sounded like pity. I want you to understand that what happens next was entirely your choice. Humanity has been peaceful not because we had to be, but because we chose to be. She gestured to Rodriguez, who initiated a sequence on his command console. Across human space, hidden quantum sensors began activating, revealing what the galaxy's older species had dismissed as impossible. A massive human defense fleet, kept secret for generations. Protocol Midnight Sun is now in effect, Nadia announced, watching as the first wave of advanced human warships emerged from their quantum hiding spaces. The vessels were unlike anything the Kralaxians had ever seen, sleek, dark shapes that seemed to bend reality around them. Vexthor's expression finally showed emotion, fear. Impossible. Your species doesn't have this technology. Our intelligence was exactly what we wanted you to see, Nadia finished for him. Humanity learned long ago that appearing weak while being strong is far more advantageous than the reverse. You targeted a medical convoy, High Commander. In doing so, you've awakened something you can't possibly understand. The human fleet continued to materialize, hundreds, then thousands of ships, each carrying weapons that had been developed in secret, waiting for a day they hoped would never come. The Kralaxian invasion fleet suddenly looked small and vulnerable in comparison. This is Admiral Junzhao of the Earth Defense Force, a new voice cut through all frequencies. All Kralaxian vessels are ordered to power down weapons and prepare for boarding. Any resistance will be met with immediate and overwhelming force. You have 5 minutes to comply. Nadia watched as panic spread through the Kralaxian fleet. Some ships attempted to flee, only to find their engines mysteriously offline, victims of quantum entanglement weapons that the humans had perfected decades ago. Your species will pay for this treachery, Vexthor snarled, but his threat sounded hollow even to him. No, High Commander, Nadia replied quietly. Your species will remember this day as the moment you learned why humanity's dedication to peace should have been recognized for what it was, not weakness, but wisdom. Because now you'll understand what happens when that peace is broken. As the human fleet moved to surround the Kralaxian ships, Nadia thought about her grandfather and his dreams of peaceful coexistence. She hoped he would understand that sometimes, peace had to be enforced before it could be achieved. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's apparent technological limitations had been the greatest deception in interstellar history, and the price for discovering this truth would be steep indeed. The Galactic Council chamber on New Geneva Station had never been so silent. Representatives from 37 spacefaring civilizations sat in stunned silence as they watched the tactical recordings from the Genesis Point incident. Ambassador Nadia Patel stood at the center of the chamber, her holographic presentation showing the Kralaxian fleet's swift defeat. Admiral Jun Zhao stood beside her, his military uniform adorned with subtle quantum tech interfaces that occasionally shimmered with data streams. The old admiral's presence was a statement in itself. This was the first time a human military commander had ever entered these chambers. The Kralaxian Empire's unprovoked attack on our medical convoy has forced us to reveal capabilities we had hoped to keep hidden. Nadia's voice carried throughout the chamber. But let me be clear, humanity's deception was defensive, not aggressive. Counselor Zyx Tal of the Andromean Collective rose, his crystalline form catching the chamber's light. You expect us to believe that? Your species has been lying to the galaxy for generations. No, Counselor. Admiral Zhao stepped forward. We've been protecting ourselves. When humanity first reached the stars, we discovered a harsh truth. The galaxy's older species often preyed upon younger ones. We studied your histories, your conflicts, your conquests. The Admiral gestured, and the holographic display shifted to show various conflicts throughout galactic history. The Kralaxian subjugation of the Ventari. The Andromean annexation of the Proxima Cluster. The Retaliation exploitation of developing worlds. We learned from your mistakes and your aggression. Dr. Raven Blackwood, Earth's leading quantum physicist, stepped forward from the human delegation. Her dark skin contrasted with her silver-white hair, and her augmented eyes glowed softly as she interfaced with the chamber's systems. While you watched us develop primitive fusion drives, we were perfecting quantum displacement technology. While you monitored our early attempts at faster-than-light travel, we were mastering dimensional phasing. The holographic display showed the true extent of human technological advancement. Massive shipyards hidden in pocket dimensions, defense systems that could redirect entire fleets through quantum space, and energy weapons that could disable ships without destroying them. The Kralaxian fleet that attacked our convoy is currently contained within a temporal stasis field. Admiral Zhao continued. Their crews are unharmed but detained. We're not here for revenge or dominance. We're here to establish new parameters for peaceful coexistence. Ambassador Patel raised her hand, and the chamber's lights returned to normal. The United Earth government proposes the Formation Accords, a new framework for galactic cooperation, one based on genuine equality and mutual defense, not predation and exploitation. The chamber erupted in overlapping voices and protests. High Elder Lyra of the Centaurian Conclave, known for her wisdom and neutrality, raised her luminescent appendages for silence. You must understand our concern, Ambassador Patel. Your species has demonstrated the ability to completely hide its true capabilities. How can we trust you now? Because we're choosing to be transparent when we could have remained hidden, Nadia replied. Because despite having the power to dominate, we're seeking cooperation. The Kralaxians forced our hand, but our response will be measured. We don't seek revenge, we seek change. Dr. Blackwood interfaced with the chamber's systems again, displaying the technical specifications of humanity's quantum detection grid. We're offering to share some of our defensive technologies with all signatories of the Formation Accords. Not weapons, but systems that will help prevent future conflicts and protect developing civilizations. The discussions continued for hours. Some species, particularly those with histories of aggressive expansion, remained hostile. Others, especially younger civilizations that had suffered under the old order, showed keen interest in humanity's proposals. As the session drew to a close, Ambassador Patel made one final statement. The galaxy stands at a crossroads. The old way of predator and prey must end. Humanity remained hidden because we needed to be sure we could enforce peace if necessary. Now we offer you a choice. Continue down the path of conflict and exploitation, or join us in building something better. 2 weeks later, 29 civilizations had signed the Formation Accords. The Kralaxian Empire, under new leadership after a swift internal revolution, was among the first. Their former High Commander Vexthor faced trial for war crimes against both humanity and his own people. Admiral Zhao stood with Ambassador Patel on the observation deck of the Artemis, watching construction begin on the first joint quantum defense platform. "Do you think your grandfather would approve of how this played out?" he asked. Nadia smiled, touching the ancient peace symbol she wore, a family heirloom from her grandfather's first contact days. He believed in humanity's potential for both strength and wisdom. "We've demonstrated both. Now we have to prove we can be worthy leaders." As ships from various species worked together on the platform's construction, a new era of galactic history was beginning. Humanity had revealed its hidden strength not to dominate, but to protect. The galaxy would never be the same, and perhaps, at last, it would be better. 3 months after the signing of the Formation Accords, the quantum detection grid registered an anomaly at the edge of charted space. Dr. Raven Blackwood's augmented eyes flickered rapidly as she processed the incoming data streams in her laboratory aboard the research vessel Horizon. "Computer, enhance Sector 7 Gamma," she commanded. The holographic display zoomed in on a region of space where reality itself seemed to twist. "Alert Admiral Zhao and Ambassador Patel. Priority Alpha." Within minutes, the ship's quantum conference chamber materialized the holographic forms of both leaders. Admiral Zhao's expression was grim, while Ambassador Patel looked concerned but composed. "We've detected something that shouldn't exist," Dr. Blackwood began, sharing her data feeds. "A spatial distortion unlike anything in our records. It's not Kralaxian, not Andromean, not matching any known species technology. Could it be a natural phenomenon?" Nadia asked, studying the readings. "No." Raven's augmented eyes pulsed with intense calculations. "These patterns suggest artificial manipulation of space-time at a level even we haven't achieved. Someone's been hiding out there, possibly for millennia, using technology that makes our quantum concealment look primitive." Admiral Zhao's hologram stepped closer to the data display. "The Formation Accords members need to be informed. If there's another species out there with this level of technology." His words were cut short as new alarms blared throughout the horizon. The spatial distortion was expanding, and within it, shapes began to emerge, massive structures that defied conventional physics. "By all the stars," Raven whispered. "Those aren't ships. They're cities. Mobile, spacefaring cities." The structures were organic in appearance, like massive coral reefs drifting through space, each one larger than Earth's largest metropolis. As they watched, smaller vessels began emerging from the structures, their design completely alien to anything known in the galaxy. "Ambassador," a new voice joined the conference. High Elder Lyra's luminescent form appeared, her usually calm demeanor showing signs of agitation. "The Centaurian Archives. We have stories, legends from before our recorded history, about beings who lived between spaces. We called them the Veil Dwellers. Legends are becoming reality," Nadia observed. "And they're choosing this moment to reveal themselves. The question is why?" The answer came in the form of a transmission that somehow bypassed all known communication protocols. A consciousness touched their minds directly, its thoughts translating into words that felt ancient and new simultaneously. "Children of the young stars," the voice resonated in their minds. "Your recent adjustment of power has drawn our attention. We have watched from the spaces between spaces, seen civilizations rise and fall. Now you propose to change the very nature of galactic society." Admiral Zhao's military training kept his voice steady. "We seek to end the cycle of predation and exploitation. To build something better." So many have claimed the same, the voice replied. The precursors, the symmetrists, the quantum collective, all long gone, their grand ambitions nothing but dust between the stars. Those who came before didn't have what we have. Ambassador Patel stepped forward, her diplomatic training allowing her to project confidence she didn't entirely feel. Unity born of choice, not conquest. We've proven that strength can serve peace. Dr. Blackwood's instruments were recording everything, her augmented mind racing to understand the incredible technology they were witnessing. Your civilization's achievements are remarkable. You must have insights that could benefit all species. There was a pause, and the presence in their minds seemed to shift, like a titanic being considering microscopic life forms. Perhaps you are different. We have seen your kind before, species that hide their strength. But you revealed yours not to dominate, but to protect. Interesting. The massive structures moved closer, and now they could see details that challenged their understanding of physics and engineering. The cities weren't just vessels, they were entire ecosystems, civilizations existing in spaces that weren't quite part of normal reality. We offer you a choice, the voice continued. Prove that your formation accords are more than merely noble words. Show us that you can maintain peace and progress without our intervention. Success will bring knowledge beyond your imagining. Failure will bring correction. As suddenly as they had appeared, the structures began to fade, not into cloaking or stealth, but into spaces between spaces that human science had barely begun to comprehend. Only one small object remained, floating in space near the horizon. A quantum seed. Dr. Blackwood's augmented vision analyzed it. Technology that could revolutionize our understanding of reality itself. A test and a gift, both at once. Admiral Zhao and Ambassador Patel shared a look that spoke volumes. The formation accords had just become more than a peace treaty. They were now humanity's chance to prove itself to beings of unimaginable power and knowledge. Well, Nadia said with a slight smile, I suppose the real work begins now. We need to show these veiled dwellers that peace isn't just possible, it's the only path to true advancement. As the Horizon's crew began studying the quantum seed, the galaxy's younger species faced their greatest challenge yet. They had to prove that unity and cooperation weren't just noble ideals, but the foundation of a future that even the ancient ones could believe in. The quantum seed pulsed with impossible energies as it floated in the Horizon's high-security research chamber. Dr. Raven Blackwood hadn't slept in 3 days, her augmented eyes constantly processing data streams from the artifact. Around her, a joint team of scientists from 12 different species worked in careful coordination. The internal structure keeps shifting, Professor Exciental, a crystalline Andromean physicist, observed. His natural ability to perceive quantum states made him invaluable to the research team. It's like it's responding to our observations. Not just responding, Raven muttered, her augmented vision catching patterns others missed. It's testing us. Every probe, every scan, it adapts and presents new challenges. The Veil Dwellers aren't just watching, they're actively evaluating how we work together. A priority alert flashed across her visual interface. Ambassador Patel's hologram materialized in the chamber, her expression tense. Doctor, we have a situation. The Kralaxian border colony of New Vega is experiencing massive gravitational distortions. Their scientists report energy signatures similar to the quantum seed. Raven's eyes widened. They've left us more than one test. Within hours, the Horizon had quantum jumped to the New Vega system. The sight that greeted them was both beautiful and terrifying. The space around the colony rippled with rainbow-colored waves of distorted reality, like aurora borealis painted across the fabric of space itself. Analysis confirms it, Professor Exciental reported. Another quantum seed, but this one's unstable. The gravitational effects are threatening the colony's structural integrity. Admiral Zhao's hologram appeared on the bridge. The Kralaxians are requesting immediate evacuation assistance. Their ships can't get close enough to the distortion field. No. Raven suddenly straightened, her augmented eyes pulsing rapidly. This isn't just about saving the colony. Remember what the Veil Dwellers said. They're testing how we work together. A simple evacuation isn't the answer. Ambassador Patel nodded slowly. The Kralaxians were our enemies just months ago. This is a test of whether the formation accords truly represent a new way of thinking. Exactly. Raven brought up a holographic model of the distortion field. We need to stabilize the quantum seed, not run from it. But it'll take technology and knowledge from multiple species working in perfect harmony. The next 12 hours saw an unprecedented cooperation. Andromean quantum resonators synchronized with human phase stabilizers. Kralaxian energy matrices, once used for weapons, were repurposed to contain the spatial distortions. Centaurian mathematicians worked with AI systems from 3 different species to calculate the precise adjustments needed. In the colony's main control center, former High Commander Vexthor's daughter, Lieutenant Zara, worked alongside the human and Andromean teams. Her father's trial and the revelation of humanity's true power had changed her perspective completely. Energy harmonics are aligning, she reported, her scaled hands dancing across the control interfaces. The quantum seed is responding to our combined frequencies. Raven watched as the impossible mathematics of multiple species technologies came together. This is it. This is what they wanted to see. Not just cooperation, but true synthesis, creating something greater than the sum of our parts. The distortion field began to pulse in rhythm with their combined efforts. Where chaos had reigned, pattern emerged. The quantum seed's energy signature shifted, becoming stable, controlled, and then... It's changing. Professor Exciental's crystalline form vibrated with excitement. The seed is opening. In the space above New Vega, reality gently parted like a blooming flower. Within the opening, they caught a glimpse of something that defied description, a library or database of some kind, constructed from light and thought and quantum probability. A gift. The now familiar voice of the Veil Dwellers touched their minds. You have shown that you can overcome past enmities to face challenges together. This archive contains but a fraction of our scientific knowledge. Use it wisely. As the voice faded, Raven's augmented vision began cataloging the vast stream of data flowing from the transformed quantum seed. This is revolutionary. Theories of physics we never imagined. Technological concepts that could advance every species by centuries. Ambassador Patel smiled. And we'll study it together, as equals under the formation accords. Every discovery, every advancement, shared among all our peoples. Lieutenant Zara stared at the flowing data with wonder. My father believed that power could only be achieved through dominance. But this is true power. The power of unity. Admiral Zhao's hologram nodded approvingly. The Veil Dwellers' first test was never about just saving the colony. It was about proving we could create something new, a civilization where cooperation trumps conflict, where different species don't just coexist but combine their strengths. As teams began the careful process of downloading and securing the alien archive, Dr. Blackwood couldn't help but wonder what other tests awaited them. The Veil Dwellers were watching, evaluating, judging whether this young alliance was worthy of their legacy. But looking at the former enemies working side by side, seeing the joy of discovery shared across species that had once been bitter rivals, she felt a surge of hope. They had passed this first test not through military might or clever diplomacy, but through genuine cooperation and trust. The galaxy was changing, one quantum seed at a time. The Grand Archive on New Geneva Station hummed with activity. 1 month after the New Vega incident, scientists from across the Formation Accords worlds worked to understand the vast knowledge the Veil Dwellers had gifted them. Dr. Raven Blackwood stood at the center of the main research hub, her augmented eyes processing multiple data streams simultaneously. We've only decoded about 2% of the archive, she explained to the gathered Council of Representatives. But even that small fraction contains technological insights that could revolutionize everything from medicine to space travel. Professor Exciental's crystalline form shifted colors as he projected a complex quantum equation into the air. The Veil Dwellers' understanding of reality itself operates on levels we hadn't even theorized. Their basic physics makes our most advanced theories look like children's drawings. Lieutenant Zara, now serving as the Kralaxians' chief scientific liaison, raised her scaled hand. The medical applications alone are staggering. We've already used their principles to cure 3 previously terminal genetic conditions. But not everyone in the chamber shared their enthusiasm. Ambassador Wei Chun of the Mars colonies, newly appointed to the council, stood up. Are we certain we should be implementing this technology so quickly? The Veil Dweller's gift could be a double-edged sword. Ambassador Patel turned to face him. Explain your concerns, Ambassador Chin. Look at human history, Chin began, his voice carrying the weight of genuine worry. When advanced societies shared technology with less developed ones, it often led to catastrophic cultural disruption. We're talking about giving space-warping technology to species that were using fusion drives just months ago. A murmur of discussion rippled through the chamber. Admiral Zhao, who had been quietly observing, stepped forward. Ambassador Chen raises a valid point. But remember, the Veil Dwellers didn't just give us technology. They gave us a test. Dr. Blackwood nodded, her augmented vision highlighting patterns in the archive's data structure. The Admiral's right. The knowledge isn't just dumped into our laps. It's structured like a teaching program. Each revelation leads to questions, requires cooperation to understand. It's designed to make us grow together. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. Emergency holograms flashed to life, showing a massive spatial distortion forming near the Retaliation home system. But this wasn't the peaceful emergence they'd witnessed before. Energy signatures are off the scale, Professor Xian Tao reported, his crystalline body resonating with the readings. It's similar to Veil Dweller technology, but wrong, distorted. Ambassador Patel's face went pale. The Rigelians, they were one of the species that refused to join the formation accords. They've been studying the quantum fluctuations from our tests, Lieutenant Zara realized. Trying to replicate Veil Dweller technology without understanding its true nature. The holographic displays showed the Rigelian attempt at artificial quantum manipulation spinning out of control. Their home system's space-time fabric was beginning to tear, threatening not just their civilization but neighboring systems as well. We can't let them face this alone, Ambassador Patel declared. Former enemies or not, millions of lives are at stake. Admiral Zhao is already mobilizing. The joint fleet can reach their system in 10 minutes through quantum space. But containing that level of spatial distortion will require everything we've learned, Dr. Blackwood finished. Her augmented eyes were processing the archive's data at maximum speed. And more importantly, it will require all of us working as one. Within moments, ships from every formation accord species were converging on the Rigelian system. Technologies that had been theoretical hours ago were being adapted and implemented in real time. The joint fleet moved with perfect coordination, each species' unique capabilities complementing the others. Lieutenant Zara's voice came over the command channel. The Rigelians are refusing our help. They're claiming we orchestrated this to force them into the accords. Pride and fear, Ambassador Patel muttered. The same combination that nearly destroyed the Kralaxians. She opened a direct channel to the Rigelian High Council. Your people's lives matter more than political standings. Let us prove that the formation accords truly stand for all species, not just its members. As the crisis unfolded, Dr. Blackwood made a startling discovery in the archive's data. This was another test. The knowledge the Veil Dwellers gave us. It contained exactly what we'd need to handle this kind of disaster. They knew someone would try to replicate their technology without understanding it. Professor Xian Tao's crystalline form pulsed with realization. Then the test isn't just about using the knowledge correctly. It's about how we share it, Admiral Zhao concluded. Whether we use it to help even those who rejected us. The next hours would prove crucial not just for the Rigelians, but for the entire formation accords. As ships from former enemy species worked together to save a civilization that had spurned them, the true meaning of unity was being written in the stars themselves.